Hello, welcome to Gallery News and Reviews. My name is Nancy Muse, and I'm your host for this week's program. Our series is designed to help keep you informed about what is going on in the public galleries in and around Halifax. This week our show will present a number of activities which are aspects of the work done at the Centre for Art Tapes. I spoke with Brian McNevin, director of the Centre, about these activities. When did the Centre for Art Tapes begin?
The Centre for Art Tapes began in January of 1978, after about a year's worth of negotiation with the Canada Council to try to obtain funds to set it up. The grant was given in January 1978, but the centre as an actual space didn't really get going with its first exhibition until March 1978.
Where is the Centre for Art Tapes located?
The Centre for Art Tapes is located on Argyle Street, right up above the Unicorn. It's on the third floor of a loft space. It shares the floor with the Nova Scotia Photo Co-op and the Atlantic Filmmakers Cooperative. Also, a series of other artists have studios on the floor.
And what are the hours that the Centre for Art Tapes is open to the public?
It's open to the public from Tuesday till Saturday, noon until 5, for screenings on request. And by screenings on request, what I mean is that individuals can come in off the street and ask to have the tapes put on for them. There are the Wednesday night presentations, like I said earlier, where the general public comes and there's an opening, usually has the artist present at that time. But the screening on request situation, an individual can come in and watch a tape by themselves.
I see. What is the mandate of the Centre for Art Tapes?
The mandate of the Centre for Art Tapes is the exhibition and distribution of video and audio tapes by artists. Over the past 2 years, we've been involved, past 2.5 years, we've been involved with mainly exhibitions, though this fall we hope to move into the distribution of local artists' work internationally.
What is the structure of the Centre for Art Tapes?
The structure of the Centre for Art Tapes, like Eye Level Gallery, is an artist-run space. And by artist-run, I mean the board of directors is made up almost totally of artists. They make all the decisions as to the program, to the day-to-day operations, etc., etc.
I see.
Unlike, say, an institution that would be a gallery that would be housed in, say, a university or a government gallery.
Mm-hmm.
We're funded mainly by the video division of the Canada Council. And because of that specific funding from one division of the council, all the exhibitions have to have some thin line that connects them to video and audio tape.
I see.
Though we've stretched that mandate, the exhibition of video and audio tapes by artists, we've stretched that as far as we can, still staying in the mediaistic kind of terms that the council has laid down that we have to stay within. I think, unlike Eye Level, which is an open visual arts gallery that takes visual arts from all sectors of the art community, we're exclusively involved as a specialized center that deals with just video and audio tape.
You mentioned earlier that the mandate of the Centre for Art Tapes was the exhibition and distribution of video and audio art by artists. Perhaps you could tell us something about what video art comprises.
Well, video art, I think there's as many different kinds of video kind of activity being done by artists as there are, say, artists working in painting or any other medium. It's very eclectic. And I think the program at the center has, has been very eclectic in that sense. For me, the most interesting work that has gone on at the Centre for Art Tapes has been exhibitions that have taken the form of installation activity, whereas the artist, though he's working or she is working with video or audio tape, they somehow incorporate the gallery structure, or the gallery space becomes an important part. In other words, the work is meant for that space.
Mm-hmm.
Though, on the other hand, there's been other work that exists just as tape itself and could be broadcast one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing I'd like to mention with the center to tie us in with a national body. Like iLevel, we are a member of AMPAC, which is the Canadian or the National Association of nonprofit artist-run centers. So we have that sort of national link up with peers, and the majority of these so-called parallel galleries have video activity going on, various artists working in video at the various centers across Canada, and hopefully we'll organize some kind of exchange. Tonight, the work that I'll be showing requires a specific context or environment for the work to be seen. As you will see, not all of the artists working in this medium, not all of their work will fit into the rigid structure needed for broadcast. The first series of slides that we'll talk about tonight are from an exhibition by John Watt that occurred at the Center for Art Tapes September the 27th to October the 6th, 1978. The title of this exhibition was Off the Top of My Head. It consisted of a videotape. The videotape, as you can see in this slide, was played on a monitor at the end of a table, which looks very much like a boardroom table, and I think it was supposed to look that way. The whole exhibition revolved around the Scientific Research Bureau of Canada, which was set up by Dr. Wilson Gregg, and John Watt was the cultural advisor in the Scientific Research Bureau of Canada, and they had pamphlets and texts, and it was very much it was an artist organization, both these individuals being artists, but it had all the corporate kind of posters and mailers and stuff of any government department. As you can see in this slide, there are large photo texts hanging on the wall. There are material on the desk that you could read and take with you, pamphlets, etc. You could sit down around this table at the boardroom, and at the end of the table, Dr. Gregg was giving his theories about various things, about what the Scientific Research Bureau of Canada was about, and explaining his various policies with regard to this and that item, just literally off the top of his head. There's one thing I would like to mention at this point with regard to the gallery wall space. You notice in this slide the burlap on the walls. The reason for that was that at this particular time, Center for Art Tapes was showing a large number of photographers' work too, and the wall space was very much about 8 by 10, 16, 20 type photographs. And as you can see in this slide, just totally inappropriate for something any larger. We basically, by putting that bulletin board type wall up there, reduced our 10-foot wall to a 4-foot wall. So those eventually came down. The gallery has gone through a great deal of change over the last couple of years, basically figuring out what does work, what doesn't work, etc. The next series of slides are from an exhibition that occurred at the Center for Art Tapes October the 25th to November the 3rd, 1978, by Ian Murray. This exhibition had two installations. The first installation was a setup very similar to having the television set up, very similar to the way John Watt had the television set up at the end of the table, except in this case, Ian had went out and purchased a red tablecloth, red striped mugs, Maxwell House coffee, and you could sit there and have a cup of Maxwell House coffee while you watched and listened to the tape. The audio portion of the tape was a woman. Ian had obviously found a tape of a Maxwell House ad before they had done the final editing of it. It was the rough audio. So it was two Maxwell House advertising men prompting a woman to put a little more emphasis on this or that aspect of Maxwell House's mild aroma or whatever they were trying to get her to say. So you sat down and listened to that tape and could have a cup of Maxwell House while you listened. The microphone on the table, you sat at one end of the table, and there was a mic in front of you. That mic was what is going on with this work is that there is a stereo audio piece that's being played over these two speakers. Out of one channel comes the voice of Dave Smith, who is a radio announcer who had been working with CBC Northern Service, but had become totally frustrated with his job and felt that what the CBC Northern Service were doing in the North was a form of cultural genocide. That was coming out of one speaker, his feelings regarding that. Out of the other speaker came reggae music, and over top of the reggae music was a translation of what Dave Smith was saying in the Inuit language by an Eskimo. The Eskimo voice also triggered a mechanism that turned the television set off and on. The television itself was tuned to the local CBC affiliate, CBHT, so that the Inuit's voice was turning off and on local broadcast CBC. In other words, there was no videotape made by Ian for this piece. These next series of slides are from Dara Birnbaum's exhibition, which occurred November the 8th through the 17th, 1978. Dara Birnbaum is involved in using broadcast recorded information and manipulating it to make her statement. For this exhibition, these two shots are edited together. It only amounts to about 5 minutes worth of videotape. Then she exhibited it in the manner in which you see here on the slide. She copied the edited version, this 5-minute videotape, to film, and had a film copy for the exhibition, which was presented in the theater and ran on a projector that had a rheostat that made the film go extremely slow, so it gave you plenty of time to sort of analyze the image. And the quality of a video to film transfer is quite different. It's not really television image, it's not really a film image. It's kind of like a Xerox kind of quality to it. But also you could go into the gallery space where she had a monitor situated on a shelf, which you see in this slide, slightly above average eye level height and on an angle of about 20 degrees. And that was real time. Screen so that you could read it, and also a Xerox of the completed text was handed out during the exhibition, so that you could sit down and read the text over while you watch the monitor or while you watch the film. Another thing that occurred during the image was every time a man entered into the picture, a pink cast was given down over the image. These next series of slides are from Dan Graham's exhibition, which occurred April the 18th to the 28th, 1979. On the gallery walls, Dan had displayed a series of texts and drawings which illustrated some of his video ideas. These illustrations and texts later became subject matter for a book that he just recently published at the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. The title of the book is Video, Architecture, and Television. Besides having these illustrations in the gallery space, we decided that we would execute one of these installations. The title of the one that Dan chose was A Video Piece for a Showcase Window in a Shopping Arcade, 1976. Dan is very interested in architecture in his work and often works with large mirrors and plate glass windows. So the obvious mall to go to was the Maritime Mall, and we negotiated with the public relations people of the mall and found 2 stores with adjacent display windows that suited the piece. In each of the store windows there was set up a camera and a monitor with a plate glass mirror behind them. Each camera was fed to the monitor on the opposite side of the mall, but one of them had a 5-second delay on it, and the other was shooting into the mirror rather than out into the mall. This caused the image on that monitor to be in reverse. These next slides are from an exhibition that occurred at the Center for Art Tapes May the 16th to the 26th, 1979, by Theodore Wan. This exhibition was entitled The Inversion of the Ready-Made. What Theodore had done, he had found a tape in Dalhousie Medical Library and had taken it out of the library and re-edited it and called it Sculpture Calling Attention to Space. It was basically a tape that a doctor had done as an instructional tape to be used in-house. What Theodore wanted to do with this tape for the exhibition, as the tape had been done for some time, was that he wanted to interview the doctor about how the doctor felt about him taking this videotape, which was done obviously as medical illustration, taking that out of the medical profession and bringing it into the art world, and how the doctor really felt about him doing that. The other aspect of the show was that he was trying to get this series of photographs here that you see in this slide into the hospital as medical illustration, and which he eventually succeeded in doing. He also wanted, upon doing that, he wanted to interview the administrators of the hospital about how they felt about him taking what he considered his artwork and hanging it in the hospital as medical illustration. Unfortunately, these planned interviews did not take place. The exhibition consisted of his 2 series of photographs hung on the gallery wall. These 2 photographic series, entitled Bound by Everyday Necessity, show Theodore in various positions inside these 2 beds, which are used by an individual who has back injuries. These 2 photographic series now exist in the Victoria General Hospital on a floor that is used mainly for sterilization of equipment, storage of equipment, etc. It's a restricted floor and not accessible to the general public. So in light of this, Theodore made a videotape which was also available during the exhibition. The videotape was made so that an individual would have an idea of where these 2 photographic series were located in the Victoria General Hospital. This next series of slides are from a one-night performance installation by Robert Hammond who had an exhibition at the Center for Art Tapes October the 17th to the 27th, 1979. This one-night presentation was entitled Archangel Movement 3, Visitation. Archangel is a series that Robert has been working on for the last 3 years or so. A monitor outside on the lawn bowling green playing. The lawn bowlers themselves asked Robert if they could take this opportunity to show people a film they had on lawn bowling, and also they passed out books on lawn bowling. They did this prior to Robert's presentation, however both presentations worked very well together. After they were over, there was a reception in which people stayed around and talked. Some watched the World Series game on the clubhouse television set. The next series of slides are from an exhibition by Bruce Wynn, which occurred at the Center for Art Tapes December the 12th to the 22nd, 1979. This exhibition was entitled Fluttering Pages, A Diary, and consisted of a videotape entitled X and a series of hand-printed text that were on the gallery wall. The audio portion of the tape was Bruce's voice, a stream of consciousness text over subjective camera work. The tape that was available for screenings on request had a basic plot that kept circling around on itself. The back wall of the gallery was painted black, and on it were mounted 2 rows of pages. These pages were spread evenly across the wall in 2 rows, each row having 10 pages. The top row, the pages were completely blank, while on the bottom row, the pages consisted of hand-printed texts that were printed so tiny and so close together, the rows, that each page looked like a screen. He had varied the sort of structure with each page so that each of these pages looked like quite different kinds of screens. But if you actually got up close to these pages and had a ruler and dragged the ruler down over the page line at a time, you could follow and read the ongoing stream of consciousness kind of text that was there in these pages. They had to do with his day-to-day activity leading up to the exhibition. These pages were also all numbered, 1 through 20. Page number 21 existed on the side wall where he had painted a black stripe down the wall that was about 1 foot wide and went from the floor to the ceiling. About 5 feet up from the floor, he positioned the page number 21 under glass, which was a photo of a text that started off as text but sort of bled to white in the middle of the page. At the bottom of this column, this black column, was a small television set, and on the TV screen was snow. The volume was turned up so that you heard the static of a television, that kind of static snow sound that you get of just television noise. This was always on constantly during the exhibition. When people came in to watch the tape, they sat down and were quite aware of this small TV sitting there under this black column. The small TV reoccurs again and again throughout the videotape. So the tie is made between what is going on in the tape, maybe, and the actual space that you're sitting in watching it. Hopefully this brief selection of work, and brief off the top of my head in quotation marks, monologue will give you some idea of the installations that have occurred at the Center for Art Tapes in the past. Besides the ongoing exhibition program, work that is complete as tape from the archive library is available for screenings on request during gallery hours. The gallery hours, once again, are Tuesday till Saturday, noon until 5.
Please remember that the Audio by Artists Festival will be on for one more day, featuring work by Ed Slopek and a performance by the Argyle Masters of Rhythm and Melody, Saturday, May 24th at 8 p.m. at the Center for Art Tapes. Now let's take a look at what's happening at the other galleries around town. The Art Gallery of Nova Scotia will be showing the fiber structures of Charlotte Lindgren in the main and mezzanine galleries through June 2nd. At the Dalhousie Art Gallery, the drawings of Christiane Flug will be on view through June 8th, as well as European landscapes from the permanent collection of the Winnipeg Art Gallery. The Mount St. Vincent Art Gallery has a retrospective of the photographs of Michel Lambeth in their downstairs gallery, while upstairs are the architectural drawings of Leslie Farren, both through June 15th. The Eye Level Gallery has a show of prints and paintings by Kenneth Coote-Smith through May 31st. St. Mary's University Art Gallery will have their annual Kermesse for the benefit of Isaac Walton Killam Hospital, May 29th, 30th, and 31st. We welcome your comments on this program. Please send them to Gallery News and Reviews, care of Dalhousie Art Gallery, Dalhousie University, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Or, if you prefer, phone 424-2403. Next week, our show will feature a retrospective of the paintings of Commander Anthony Law, which will be shown at St. Mary's University Art Gallery in June. We hope you'll be joining us then. Thanks very much for watching.